Hi everyone, this is Kevin with My Shop Assist. In this video, I'm going to go over how we handle parts in the system. Just like the tasks video, we do have a difference between shop parts and job parts. And that's the first thing I want to talk about before I get started on this. The difference is the shop part is going to be like from a database, and the job part is going to be an individual part on a job. The job parts are basically copies of the shop part, and you are able to change them, and it does not affect the shop part. So that's the first thing to kind of explain to you. So I'm going to go and go into my shop here, and I'm going to go to a job and pretend you're a new shop that's just getting started. You go into a job or create a job, and you don't have any parts in here. I do have one task just to kind of make things a little easier to get going. But if you need to add a part to a job, so like let's say in this instance I want to add a bearing to this motor that I'm building, you can go in and add part, and we can type in ACL bearings. And it gives us a list of stuff that I already had in here. So since I already had stuff in the database, when you're getting started, you might not have that. So we'll go ahead and try something that I may not have in here. So diamonds. Okay. We're going to say these are a 4G63, and we'll say they're 2.0 long rod, 9-to-1. Say they're $650. And they retail for $900. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give them a description. And so we got a part we made in here. Pretty simple, just fill in the blanks. This is a new thing. We've never had it in our database before. So we're going to add it to this job. Now, since this is just added to the job, it also did add it to the database. So it's now a shop part and a job part. So if we need to use that part again on another job or even on this job, we can add a part. So here we go, right there. So that's how you can do it. When you're in a job like this, you can also add parts directly onto tasks. So in this case, since we have an engine short block, let's say we need to add a bearing to it. Now we have a part on a task, and these pistons are also for this motor, so we can drag them. That's nice thing in this new version is we have them drag and drop rather than moving them up and down with the arrow buttons. And so it makes it a little easier to move stuff around. And this part right here, since we have duplicates of it, I'm just going to delete it. So there's a delete button next to the part. Okay, so now we kind of understand the difference of a shop part and a job part. These are job parts because they are on a job. So let's go ahead and look at the shop parts. So I'm going to go to parts, and on the top right, there's a drop down. We default to this need to order page, which I'll get to shortly. But the shop parts is going to be your shop part database. So let's look at the ACL bearings. So you can see all the ACL stuff that's in here already. You can obviously edit stuff in here. You know, the wholesale price, the retail price, who you're buying it from, and what the part number is for it. You can change if they're taxed or not, or you can disable them and hide them away so you don't have to see them anymore. Usually if you start getting a lot of duplicates, you can go ahead and clear the duplicates out by turning them off with the active button. If you have an Excel spreadsheet that you already have of parts that you want to import, you would do that in this page. And there's an import button here, and if you follow the directions, it's pretty straightforward. So here's a parts template file if you need to see what it looks like, but you would upload the file. If you have headers or not, click the button, and then follow the directions once you get through there. So set headers would be matching the headers, and then save it. If you have any duplicates, it'll ask you to select which one you want to use. Likewise, if you need to export your parts list, you can do that as well, and it will just make an Excel spreadsheet for you with all your parts. Okay, so next I've got the need to order and ordering stuff. So if we go back to that job we were working and we need to order a part, let's say we did not have these diamond pistons in stock, but I do have the ACL bearings. I can edit this part, and there's a couple buttons over here. One of them is going to be apply tax. You know, obviously we want to charge tax on parts, but one of them is need to order. So I'm going to show you how that works. If you mark this as need to order and hit save, a little red shopping cart appears next to the part and the task. Likewise, if you go into the job, it'll also be on the jobs page, this little shopping cart here. What we do with that is any parts that are marked as need to order get added to this parts page on the need to order page. So we default that as the parts sort of like homepage here. And you can see it's got our diamond pistons on here. What you would do with this is you would order this through your normal channels. So click on the part once you've actually ordered it and click the order button. This does not order it for you yet. We are working on that, and that will be out shortly. But at the moment, you would still have to order it through your website or email PO to the vendor. So I'm going to mark it as ordered. If I go back into that job, you can see the shopping cart became white now. That means the part has been ordered. So I'm going to go into this job, and you can see the same thing, white shopping cart. It says ordered, and it has a date that it was ordered on. So that means the part has been ordered, and we can see that inside of this job. And it just helps us knowing that, when it was ordered, who it was ordered through, and when we're ready to we're ready to receive the part, we'd go to the order page. So there's a need to order, ordered. And so the part is on here now. The next step is when you've actually received it from the shipping company. You would just click this button right here. Or if you forgot you didn't actually order it, you can undo the order. But we're going to click the order button. Now when we go back to the jobs page, the shopping cart is green. That means the part has been received. If you go into the job, you can see the same thing here. Green shopping cart has a receive date, hover over top of it. 6/17/23. We can also edit the part by clicking on it, and it should have the marked as ordered, marked as received. It should have the timestamps inside of the part here. So that's how the need to order, ordered, and received part works. Let's say a customer actually brought you some parts that they want to put on the car. So in this case, let's run some Manley rods. 14/4/21 long rod. Okay, so in this case, the customer brought us the part. So if we click on it and do customer provided and hit save, it's going to have a little icon here for the customer provided. What that's to let you know is that it's not something you are supplying, so it will not show up on the work order. So if we go to the work order here, there is no part for that. And that's because obviously the customer brings it, you're not going to bill it. But you want to know that they dropped it off, so this is an indicator for it. If you need to update a part, let's say you're adding a part to the shop or to a job and you want to update the price. So these ACL bearings, maybe they're like $75 now, and our wholesale price is $55. You can click a button called Update Shop Part here. If you click that button and hit save, it will update the back end. So the next time we add this part, the ACL main bearings, standard size, ACL race. You can see now has our 55 wholesale and our 75 retail price. So we updated the back end with that button. Very handy for updating pricing, especially if you're adding stuff to jobs directly. The next thing we added in this new version is we added if you go into the shop parts, and we'll go back to our ACL bearings here, you can see that if you have a wholesale price and a retail price, it does give you a markup on here. It makes it a little easier for you to know what your margins are, and also if you want to change your markup, it will automatically update the retail price. And just along with that line, we also added something called a pricing matrix. The way this works is anytime you have a part with a wholesale price above the minimum, it'll mark it up a certain percentage. So let's add a couple breakpoints in here. Okay, so we've got 0, 100, 500, and 1,000. So basically, if we change the price of something to be within one of these brackets, it'll mark it up accordingly. If you click the apply button, it will apply it to all the parts at your shop. So this would be like a batch or a bulk change. I don't recommend clicking this if you're manually typing prices off of internet matches and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with this one right here. It doesn't have a wholesale price. Let's go ahead and start. Let's say we paid $30 for this part. it's going to want to mark it up at 100%. You can still override it, but this is what the pricing matrix we set up wants it to be. If you paid $130, we reach our next breakpoint, right? It's above $100, so now we're marking it up 75. And if we go above $500, and if we go above $1,000. So you can see that's how the pricing matrix works. Anytime you're above the line item in the matrix, it's going to use the markup percentage for the retail price. Makes it much easier to determine your pricing if you're going off a pricing matrix rather than just looking it up every single time. Although I do understand that most aftermarket parts are priced primarily by a minimum advertised price or what people are selling it for online. But if you are doing general repair stuff, basically they just charge whatever their pricing matrix shows them to be. And we do have one report for the parts. This is a newer report. It will show you any parts that have been created within a certain date. So basically, if you add a part to a job within this date, it'll appear on this list, and we total it out on the bottom. There are two other ways of viewing this report. The job completed date. This is going to add parts to this list if the job they were on was completed within these two dates. And the last one is going to be all parts on all active jobs. And so this is just a demo shop, so I don't have a lot on here, but most shops will have lots and lots of parts. Okay, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions about parts, feel free to message us by emailing, calling, or through the chat system. All right, have a good day.